Welcome to Just Hair Me Out, a podcast about love, life, and hair. I'm Barbara. I've spent over 38,000 hours coloring hair.
Hi, I'm Demetra, and I've spent over 1,000 weeks with scissors in my hands.
With 50 clients a week in our chairs and 22 years on our feet, doing hair is not our hobby, it's our hustle. We've navigated salon politics and then opened salon suites of our own in 2020. We choose dogs over kids, skinny marks over beer, and we've only fired 3 clients each. Welcome back to Just Hair Me Out. This is a first for us. We're going to do an episode where all we do is complain about things.
Yes.
This is going to make it so much easier for my clients at work. They're tired of listening to me complain. So I have a long list. Stick with us to the end. It's going to be good. So, Demetra, have you been watching the Olympics?
No.
Okay. I know I showed you just the other day the video of the pole vaulter.
Oh my God.
Went down.
Mm-hmm.
So if anyone listening hasn't seen this, French guy was competing doing the pole vault, and he almost made this super high jump, but he didn't quite clear it because his penis was in the way. And it's a must-see if you want to look it up on YouTube.
It's not that hard to miss, that's for sure.
Pun intended.
Right.
And then I believe the announcers said it's a rough one, but also congratulations, to the French dude. But I just wanted to mention pole vaulters out there. You need to watch drag queens because there's this thing called tuck and tape. It will have everything out of the way.
I'm surprised though, when you had showed it to me, it was just very loose. Like, what kind of garments? It doesn't have extra support there. You're an athlete. That should have been extra secured.
Exactly. Ask some women too. Like, we're used to strapping down. I mean, yeah, they even have different sports bras for different types of workouts.
Yeah, certain activities. But wasn't I called it as soon as I saw that video. The first thing I said, oh yeah, the porn industry is going to contact him immediately.
I'm sure they did.
Yeah. It's so funny.
He'll be fine.
Mm-hmm.
But hopefully he can come back in the next Olympics. Hopefully he's not going to age out or anything.
Mm-hmm.
And talk to some drag queens, dude. They can help you. Also, I saw the funniest guy. He was so Gen X. I love him. The Turkish guy who won silver for shooting.
Oh, I didn't even know they had an Olympic for that.
I didn't either.
Is that new?
I even if anyone doesn't know, Demetra and I, right down the street where we work was a really big shooting. So every time I say the word shooting, I, kind of cringe. But I was looking it up. I don't know a ton about guns, but not rifles. I know that's a whole thing. Like a rifle is a long one. So like a handgun.
Handgun would be like a 9mm, a 38, a revolver, basically handgun. It's small.
Yeah.
And then you have your rifles, which are much bigger, or a shotgun, which a lot of people, I guess, keep in their homes. They're much bigger.
Got it. It's a handgun. Okay. And it's an Olympic sport where there's a target, and obviously being super on the mark means you're great. So this dude is 52. He only started shooting a year ago. And he went to a shooting range because he was wanting to blow off steam because he's going through a divorce. This guy is a mechanic in a garage in Istanbul. And just randomly found out he's really, really good at shooting. So he shows up at the Olympics, and there's all these dudes in their 20s from all different countries. They've got scopes, they've got hats, they've got special shirts on. I don't know what a shirt does to help you shoot better, but anyway, all this stuff. He shows up in a t-shirt and jeans and shoots with one hand in his pocket, and he won silver.
Shut up.
Dead serious.
Wow, that's talent.
I know.
Sometimes you don't realize how good you are at something until you try it.
And most of the world knows who he is. And this is an interesting lesson for children. Nobody actually knows who won gold because they don't care because this guy is so interesting.
I'm sorry, gold winner.
I'm sorry, whoever that is. Okay, so, and going back to Gen Xers. I feel like Gen Xers are known for, truly not giving a fuck. Also, if you get hurt, you're not allowed to complain about it. And a lot of times we're just really angry. And I have a really good explanation for this.
Okay.
Music. We all love music, especially
Yeah.
like, when you're a teenager, like music can be your life.
Mm-hmm.
So listen, folks, boomers, millennials, Gen Z, imagine this. You are growing up, you have records. Then they say, oh, now we're all going to play tapes. So then you get a tape recorder. You buy all your albums on tape. Then you have to sit and listen to the radio and record your favorite songs on blank tapes, unless you want to buy the album.
Do you remember hitting like stop, record, just to like make sure you wouldn't get the commercials in there?
Yeah.
I used to listen to like B96 and it was like house music on a Saturday night.
Yeah.
Right. So I'm like 14 years old. I'm not allowed to be out, 10, 11 o'clock at night. I remember sitting on our living room floor because the music couldn't even be loud because my mom would get pissed. It would be super, super low. I would sit there for hours just waiting to press record and stop, just so that during that tape you wouldn't get any commercials. Like you had to be like your own DJ.
Yes.
It's insane.
I actually, Demetra, I won tickets to a summer bash once from calling into B96.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Did you go?
I did.
Oh, nice.
I almost said Ricky Lake.
Oh.
Ricky Martin.
Okay.
And NSYNC. And Britney Spears was supposed to be there, but she backed out. And I didn't really know who she was. So I was like, okay, no big deal.
Mm-hmm.
Anyhow, back in the day. Okay, so back to my complaint. So vinyl, tapes. All of a sudden, tapes are obsolete. You got to buy all your albums again on CD. Then you get in your 20s, everything's on MP3. And then you got to buy your music, a digital copy, right?
It's bullshit.
And then nobody even buys albums. You need a subscription. Just pay for Spotify. You listen to whatever you want. I feel robbed. Robbed.
Definitely.
It's not right.
We've spent so much money on music. Like, yeah, the musicians in our time definitely made more money because we just had to keep buying shit to listen to their music.
That's possible. We're also the generation that did raves all the time. Did you ever go to raves?
I went to like 3.
So, those candy necklaces everyone wore?
Yeah.
I propose that we make new ones for Gen Xers at this point in time, 2024. And I think we should have, instead of candy, Xanax, Tums, and ibuprofen.
I think that's a great combination because that's what's always in my purse. Always.
In addition to the music changing all the different forms. So I gotta say, I remember when I had my first apartment by myself. I was downtown Chicago, and I would go to do my taxes. I would go to one of the federal buildings and just get the form because they would have a stack that was like as tall as me, which is 5'3". And you would just like pick up one. It looked like recycled toilet paper, but it was like your 1040s.
Yep, 1040.
And you would just handwrite it out, mail that sucker in.
Yeah.
Then it was TurboTax.
Yeah, I did TurboTax too. I was doing it myself for a while.
So I did TurboTax for a long time until my life got too complicated. It was over my head. Then I had an accountant. But here's my point. TurboTax was such a big deal back in the day. Still is, I think, if you don't have a real complicated tax situation or you happen to be just really smart about accounting. And it's owned by Intuit. I think I'm pronouncing that right. So Intuit has all these different companies now, and people tend to trust them because of TurboTax. I might be speaking for myself.
Is that a bad thing?
Okay, the bane of my existence for the last 3 years has been QuickBooks.
I told you I will not do it. I won't do it because it's not even worth it. Especially like for us, we're like a one-woman show. There's no reason. It's
horrible.
Yeah, it's not worth it.
I have wasted so many hours of my life trying to make QuickBooks work, and it's owned by Intuit. So I was like, oh, it's probably good. It seems unnerving.
It's not that it's bad. It takes a lot of time is what it is.
Yes, but it's actually bad. And let me tell you why.
I mean, okay. Go ahead. Tell us why.
I had QuickBooks Online. There's, by the way, 17 different versions of QuickBooks. And that one seemed like the right one for me. I don't know for sure, but I went with it. And I connected my bank account and like my business bank account and also my credit card processor, which happens to be Square. So every couple months, I'll do the reconcile, the bank account and everything. And I remember once being really busy. I didn't pay a lot of attention. Like I was frustrated because it didn't all sync up and I was off by a little bit. And I thought, okay, I'm going to come back and do this later because I don't have time today. Anyway, it got a little bit away from me. And I look at it after like 6 months, I do a deep dive into my QuickBooks.
Mm-hmm.
It is so wrong. And there's a month and a half missing of my bank transactions, just gone. And there's multiples of every transaction. There's 2 different transactions. It
made
is so
duplicates.
irritating. Yes,
Yeah.
It made duplicates. And there's not even a way to fix it. I even had my accountant involved. And he was emailing QuickBooks to ask them, because he was saying, I don't think we should try to pull in those 2 months because it might just pull in like the last year as well. Long story short, it majorly messed up. And it took me like 2 full days of me pulling my hair out. That's why my hair is so short now, everybody. And I am so happy. I feel like this huge weight is off my shoulders because I canceled QuickBooks.
Good for
I'm
you.
doing a spreadsheet. Just telling you people, it's not worth it in the least. Not worth it in the least, unless you're paying your accountant to do it and they want to use it.
Yeah, just for reference, because when I had first started, I was going to do the QuickBooks, and I kept looking, and this is when I was first setting up the business, the LLC, and I had him helping me with some items, and I'm like, this just doesn't even make sense. Like the QuickBook, like you said, it was confusing. I'm a one person. He's like, I wouldn't do it. Let's do a spreadsheet for you. This is really easy. You could just plug things in. And then I realized after the first year, I kept having to plug things into the spreadsheet. And I said, fuck this. All I use, no, seriously, is my credit card statement, right? Has every single purchase for the business. My Square prints out every single service provided. That is literally all I use. And I don't know if this is helpful for you, but to anybody that is a one-man show, one-woman show, and you're in the industry like us, this will really simplify it for you because I don't even keep receipts. There's absolutely no point of me keeping receipts for the business because it's all on the credit card. But it's like really easy because even though it's all just lumped into salon centric, right? All of that's being used on a client. Okay, so that's for services provided. Then you have other stuff that will go under, let's say, my Amazon purchases, like the water, the coffee. That would be under, my God, why am I drawing a blank?
It's okay. No, this is why I can't stand QuickBooks because I've tried so hard and I'm not dumb. I could not wrap my head around it. And I'm still calling water, paper towels and all that. I'm still calling it office supplies because you can't call it something different in QuickBooks.
Okay, that's what I wanted to tell you. So when I do Amazon orders, exactly, that's what we put it under. This is office supplies. Then you have service, right? But even though, like I said, it's all, I don't have to break it down every single thing. My accountant's like, you don't have to. Yeah. You have literally your office supplies, which is basically salon supplies, right? That's what, and then you have stuff that's being used for the services, like your color, all your styling products, all your shampoos. It literally is, when you really think about it, we probably have like only 5 sections. So I go through my credit card bill, and wherever that is, I just put it in there. At the end, I tally each one up, boom, 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 give them the sheet. It's the easiest thing I've ever done. Yeah. But I do spend time, once a week, I check the accounting, make sure everything's in a row so that when I am ready to do it quarterly, everything's just easy. And then I go through all at once. But speaking of, now that we're on the bitch fest, okay, why is it that every time my washing machine says I have 4 minutes, it's still 20 minutes or 15 minutes left? Have you ever noticed that?
I have, and mine is the other way. It'll say like 2 minutes, and then all of a sudden it's like stopped.
Shut up.
While I'm standing there.
No way.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is one of my things that's been driving me nuts lately. I have a Samsung front loader washer and dryer, industrial size. It's huge. Me too. Mm-hmm. Okay, so what is that then? It drives me nuts. I can't fucking stand it.
That's weird.
Mm-hmm. So that pisses me off.
When I put a load in and I hit start, it always says like an hour, and then within 10 minutes, it has adjusted the time according to how much is in there.
Well, my dryer does that because it's on a sensor. So if it's drying faster, if you have less items, let's say you put it on a heavy load, my dryer does it. So if it really says it's 9 minutes left, it really is 9 minutes, or it will adjust in and say, okay, 2 minutes left because it's almost dry. But my washer pisses me off every time.
Lies.
I'm telling you, every time I go down there, it's still spinning. I'm like, seriously, you said like 10 minutes ago it would be done.
Does you have it where it makes noise when it finishes, like a song?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I can't really hear it. I live in Georgia and it's like 3 floors.
I need a solution for you. I'll think on that one.
Oh, you're the best. Thanks, Barbara.
I'll get you a baby monitor.
Well, oh, so I can actually watch it? No, you know what's funny? I do have cameras in my house because I got a new puppy. Oh my gosh. Everybody knows Mia. Max is downstairs. I should have brought him so you guys can see him. But so because he's, teething and stuff, I've been video recording to see how the dogs are going to get along. But I have an extra camera. I could technically put it in my laundry room so I can look at the time. Because, look, here's the only plus to that. Okay. I'm getting more steps in.
There you go.
I mean, you got to look at the positives sometimes, right?
Yeah. But yeah, and after I said baby monitor, I realized actually, I learned a lot from my husband. I always thought everyone had to have a Ring camera, and we have a different brand. It's called Unify Protect. Anyway, so he has several extra cameras, especially around the outside of our house. You could stick one in your laundry room. Yeah.
I mean, technically. Here's another thing I've been also wanting to talk about. Every fucking day that I drive home from work, there is that one person that is doing 50, even though it says the speed limit's 55, and he's in the left lane and causes so much traffic. And I'm thinking, okay, fine, 6 o'clock at night, maybe there's still traffic heading to the city. No, when you finally get around that one person, there's absolutely no rhyme or reason. So if you just saw 5 cars literally go around you, as a driver, shouldn't you be moving to the right? This happens every day when I leave work. Every day there's that one person. And look I even hate the fact that I have a heavy foot. I'm not going to lie. Okay. However, though, if I'm in the left lane, I'm at least doing 55 or 60. You're going with the flow of traffic. I mean, this person's doing under the speed limit because I'm always checking to see, because I don't want anyone to feel uncomfortable. I'll never ride someone's ass. I'll just go around them if I can, But with that being said, I'm like, man, this person is not even doing the speed limit every time.
That's crazy.
I think it's actually very dangerous. I think that's what causes accidents.
Yes. Well, and also, I don't know about everywhere. I haven't been to a ton of places in the U.S., but definitely in Chicago, you guys, there's always at least 3-4 lanes on a highway. And then the far left lane, if you're in Chicago, you know that you can go 10 to 15 over, maybe more.
Right.
Especially on the highway.
Yeah. So, and you're following, everyone's doing it. So you kind of are going with the flow of traffic, right?
Right.
So it's not like you're typically the only, sometimes you're the only one.
But my pet peeve, and it goes along with it, if someone's going the speed limit or under, not only is it dangerous, but the people that constantly are tapping their brakes drive me crazy, because then it becomes every 3 minutes they're tapping their brakes and they're in front of you, so they're going to do it. It's like calling wolf, crying wolf.
Crying wolf, right.
So then if they actually need to slow down, then you're slamming on your brakes. Then people are going onto the shoulder to avoid hitting everybody. This is how pileups happen because of the people who don't drive right.
Yeah. I mean, if that's the case and you're scared, don't get on the expressway.
Yeah.
I mean, I just don't get it. I don't know who taught you how to drive, but you need a re-lesson. So if you're hearing this, stop tapping your brake and get the fuck out of the left lane. That's and do this, at least do the speed limit. And move to the right. Move to the right. And like I said, I don't want anyone to get nervous. So I will never ride anyone's ass. I'm never an aggressive driver. I'm a fast driver. Yeah. But it's every day after work. I could probably be home a good 15 minutes earlier. I'm sorry, but 15 minutes is a lot of time. The older we get, it's a lot of time.
On that same vein, I wanted to say, I cannot stand it when I'm on the highway going 80 plus, and then there are people weaving in front of everybody, in front of semis on motorcycles, not wearing helmets, wearing T-shirts.
Someone on the back of their bike.
Yes.
With them. So now it's like another person's life, not just your own. I have a lot of respect for people that ride, motorcycles, whatever. I keep my distance. But what I dislike is when they're not even in a lane, they go in between cars.
Yeah.
How do that is just such a big chance, because what if there's a pothole and someone goes like this real quick? It doesn't see you coming.
Yeah.
I mean, and you see that all the time. People just kind of swerving we live in Chicago. The amount of potholes we have everywhere, even on the expressway. So it's just like, again, if you're riding a motorcycle, please don't do that. At least stay in a lane. Don't try to go in between. If there's bumper to bumper traffic, I see why you're doing it. At least proceed with caution. I'll ride the shoulder occasionally. We have a mile out and I'm trying to get off at the next exit. There's no reason for it. Sure, I'll get on the shoulder, right? Put my hazards on, but I go slow. I'm not doing 60 trying to get off.
Right.
I don't know.
We have a friend who's an orthopedic surgeon. And because he is at a certain hospital where he does surgery, sometimes will occasionally be on call for ER stuff. He calls motorcyclists that don't wear helmets organ donors.
Yeah, pretty much.
And it scares me. I don't want to see it. I don't like, these people clearly don't have a huge investment in living.
Yeah,
I don't want to see it.
No, it makes me breathe deep just even thinking about it.
Me too. Like, I'm mad at them because it's going to give me PTSD. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, not just for themselves. You're putting other people's lives in danger,
Yeah.
So.
Okay, furthermore, on to cars.
Yes.
So I'm a big fan of leasing cars. And they always want you to get the maintenance package. And then they'll do the math and show you how it's cheaper, this, that. I have been convinced to do it. A little embarrassed to say I have. But man, they're really good about psychological manipulation to where you would do anything to leave the dealership at that point.
Yes.
It's really messed up. And here's my biggest gripe. When I take my car into a dealership and I'm not paying for it because it's wrapped into my maintenance package.
But you did pay for it.
You did pay for it. But I'm saying, like, I'm not paying that day.
Right.
It's already paid for. Then it will take an hour and a half, 2 hours for an oil change. So my point is, the customer service is gone.
I never thought of that.
It is so frustrating to me
because it's like they already have their money. But technically, because it's paid for, I get what you're saying, because usually you're bringing your car in and they're going to say, oh, but you need this, you need that. They could technically still do that if it needs it.
Yeah, they're almost always coming over and being like, oh, you need to change the filters in your my car is not dirty.
Right.
They always have extras like,
the
air in your car isn't going to be as clean. Okay.
Right. Yeah. Right. But I drive with my window open all the time anyway. So.
Yeah. I've noticed people coming in, like, technically, because I wrapped the oil change into my, I did get a discount on the oil change, right?
Okay.
Which is, I'm sure they're still making money. But someone else comes in and pays full price for their oil change. They're getting a loaner. And my ass is sitting there for 2 hours, wasting my time. I can't even, like, film a podcast while I'm there. What the hell?
Yeah, exactly. It's all about podcasting.
Rude.
But speaking of driving, what about the people that never use their signals and just turn in front of you or so? Use your signal. Why is it so hard? Another reason why accidents happen. You don't use your signal and you slam on your brakes to turn right. But yet I thought you were going straight. Just use your turning signals. That's like my other thing with drivers. I'm just like, why is it so hard to use a turning signal?
I know.
Ugh.
Well, in the cars now, I love the newer technology. It kind of makes you want to put your signal on, be more accurate with it, because, it'll beep at you if someone's in your blind spot. Right.
Yeah, no, I like that too. And then my car as well has the, which of course you can turn all this stuff on or off. But like if you start, if you're looking at your phone and you're not paying attention to driving and you start going into the other lane, it vibrates at you.
Yeah.
I try not to look at my phone only when I'm at a red light. And even then that could be a little dangerous, even though you're completely stopped, But I see it all the time. Women in their car putting on their mascara.
Oh my God.
Why do you guys do it? Can somebody
Also-
tell? Put on your fucking makeup at home. I'm sorry, I'm dropping the F-bomb today. Today is because we're having a bitch fest here. We are bitching.
Well, here's the point. If someone rear ends you when you're putting on mascara, you're going to lose an eye.
Yeah, for sure. I don't get watching women put makeup in the car. On the expressway, I saw a woman doing that the other day. She was literally on the expressway doing about 70, and I see her. And I'm like, is it that important? Maybe when you park, put on your mascara. Takes 20 seconds. I mean, I don't think people realize the repercussions that something would take you 10 to 30 seconds per se that you're trying to save.
Yeah.
I don't know. Don't put mascara on that day. I have no makeup on. I could care less. I want to hear from you ladies. I want to hear from the people that put makeup in their car. I want to know why you do it in the car. That's what I want to know.
All right. Send us messages. We want to hear it.
Yeah, we do.
In my neighborhood, pest control.
Mm-hmm.
I have a thing up on my door, right by the doorbell, that says no solicitors.
Mm-hmm.
These people are relentless and they don't care. I've also had somebody not ring the bell, but just knock really loud.
Oh, I hate that.
And then when I like open the camera on my thing, there'll be nobody there. I actually went out there because I thought maybe a box was delivered. He was hiding. He saw the doorbell and like made sure he was out of view.
See, to me, that's kind of freaky too, because it's like, what are you really up to?
Well, and the thing is, I don't want to be rude. I need to start being rude, apparently.
I know, I'm too nice. I'm way too nice. But you know what? I had a friend actually earlier today, a few hours ago, told me, you know what? You're kind of mean sometimes. I said, what? What do you mean I'm mean? I'm like, did I just do something? And he's like, no, I'm just saying in general, you know? I'm like, I think you're confused because I think I'm like one of the nicest people in the world. I think I'm so kind. I'm very respectful of people. I have a mouth on me. Sure. I think what it is, and this is what I explained to him. I'm like, I think you're confusing me being mean for my forwardness. I'm very
blunt.
I'm very blunt. So when I say things, it could come off like I'm very assertive, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I need to have more boundaries, and I actually have to be mean because I'm not mean. I need to be mean too. I agree.
Well, I feel like it's, to me, what I would call, I don't want to be rude, is like, I don't want to look at you, roll my eyes, and close the door in your face, but I think that's what I need to do. Like, to me, that is rude.
Or that's rude. I would probably just, say, hey, you see that sign? It says no solicitors. Can you please just respect that and remove yourself from my property?
The thing is, everything you say, they keep talking.
I know.
Don't answer the door.
Well, that's why you have your camera. Just don't answer. I mean, right? What do you need to answer for?
They knock on the door and run away behind a bush. Fucking people.
And you thought it was a package. Okay, I get it. In that instance, you're right.
And I said, "Oh, I have a pest control company." Oh, who is it? How long have you been there with them? So I just have to say, it's not going to happen. No, it's not going to happen. And then they have something else to say. And then my husband comes to the door, like, I need a guy to help me. It's like, and then they're like, oh, sorry.
Yeah.
So irritating.
It is kind of true that as soon as they see a man, they do stop.
Okay, here's my other thing.
Yes.
Along with when women are forward or like they have good leadership skills, they've been called bossy. Some of these terms. When I read something online the other day and it was like, mind blown. One of the biggest gaslights in history is people, some women even say this, mostly men, that women are emotional. They're too emotional, whatever that means. As if men and their anger problems, like anger is not an emotion.
Right.
While we're complaining about men, I have a couple things to say.
Yeah.
I, as we've talked about before, have tried to date online for probably 20 years. At least half that time trying to find a Mormon guy, which was not good. I will tell you, on more than one occasion, I thought even one occasion that this was like crazy wild. This happened to me twice, where somebody had listed their profile as being a widower. Like they have pictures with like their kid and this and that. I'm like, okay, well, I could be okay with somebody having kids, And I, we had talked about this before, Demetria, being like the number one in someone's life, whatnot. But I was like, well, if their spouse is passed away, then they're not really around. It is a different dynamic, but you know, it's not going to be like a butting heads of like who's mom or whatever. Anyhow, both of these guys said after talking for several days, perhaps even on the phone, saying, well, my ex isn't really deceased, but she is dead to me.
That's disturbing. I am sorry.
To list yourself as a widower.
That's not even funny. Like, I'm sorry. That's not funny.
It is. I'm like, there is so much wrong.
Especially if you have kids with someone, regardless if you just don't have a good history with the mother anymore, regardless, you have a kid with this person. How do you even make a comment like that? Some people are just they just have no class. No, fucking classless is what that is.
Well, it's a real personality flaw. If you are not ready to be dating anybody, if that's how you view people.
I will not get on a dating site because I truly believe like my man should come find me. I am not going to put myself out there in search of it. They're scary.
It's rough.
It's rough. It's scary.
Rough with two F's.
And I'm sure there's good people on there too, just like I had tried it before. And I think I'm, good, genuine person. I was on there literally looking for relationships. And again, I know men and women do think differently. We are wired differently.
Also, I don't want to delve into like having this be the whole episode, but I gotta mention this in the bitch fest. Any man that refers to any type of woman as a gold digger also is a man who will never date a woman that is not really attractive.
I didn't even think about that.
If you think of a good exception to that, I would like to know. They want you to look high maintenance.
Right.
And I'm not saying like all guys are like that, but the guys who are constantly scared of having a woman want them for their money.
Right. And you know what the funniest part is? Those guys don't even have money. The ones that are calling the women gold diggers. Because a man that is up to par and has his shit together, he doesn't care. He really doesn't care about that. Yeah. I mean, honestly, and I don't know what's going on in today's society with people and this whole who has money, who doesn't have money. It's like, it's just crazy. The whole dynamic of being with someone is, I think it's lost. It's a very, very lost. Some people look at it as a business transaction, right? Some people are still trying to do it for love, but they have so many other options out there now. And that's why people are just not good to other people.
I thought of another one that I've been really wanting to talk about. Tesla.
Okay.
Have you noticed every time I see a Tesla on the road, they're either being incredibly aggressive and dangerous or going at least 10 miles an hour under the speed limit?
I always see them being very sleepy. I don't think I've ever seen one being aggressive. Me personally, I have not.
It's interesting. The whole Tesla thing. My major point, though, is the Cybertruck. It is hideous. It's their first.
Oh, the Tesla. Oh, got it.
Tesla has an SUV type thing called the Cybertruck.
Is that the one that looks like a bug, like a water bug or something?
Yeah, well, it looks kind of like Back to the Future, like a very the Back to the Future car.
Sure. Okay.
It is not attractive at all. And it is incredibly expensive. To me, it's kind of like the Emperor's New Clothes. Like, is anyone looking at this and being like, oh, that's just amazing?
Well, here's the thing. I know they're also trying to switch everything to be electric. So I can bitch on this really quick. First of all, why would I want to? Okay, you could charge your car at home if you have an electric car, or you could go and find an electric station and sit for 30 minutes and let your car charge. I'm sorry, I go to the pump in 2-3 minutes. My car is full. I take off. Okay. Secondly, with the electric, the thing that's really bothering me, do people not realize where are those batteries going to go? Right now, all of our batteries are going into landfills.
Yeah.
Right? Let's think about this. Okay. So all the people that are for it turning to electric, at the end of the day, it's money. It's all about money. They want to get rid of gas stations. Why? Because then in that gas station, they're going to put in electric modes, right? It's all a business. Do you see?
I've seen they're starting to put coils under the cement. So there will be lanes on the highway that charge your car while you're driving, which I think is pretty cool.
That's pretty awesome, actually.
Oh, yeah.
That's great. But who's paying for it?
Well, my ass isn't getting an electric car until they actually have roads everywhere like that, you know?
Right. But who's paying for it? We are. Again, another way to get more tax dollars from people. I'm sorry. I don't know about you. I pay enough fucking taxes. I'm also childless, so I pay even more taxes than the average fucking person because I don't have kids. You know, they should be giving me money back for not fucking putting more people on this planet. I'm sorry. I'm serious.
You're preaching to the choir, my friend.
Yeah. I have to take a deep breath for that one. Getting me all riled up on this bitch fest, Barbara.
Okay, so just going a little sideways from Tesla to Amazon.
Okay.
I love Amazon. I am such a homebody.
I love it.
Don't like to go to the store.
Mm-hmm.
I actually hate shopping unless it's online.
Me too.
So I don't really care if someone's getting obscenely rich if I don't have to leave my house to get my toiletries.
It's your choice.
Yeah.
Your choice where you want to spend your money.
But Amazon is getting really fucking lazy. And let me tell you why.
Uh-oh, Phil.
All of a sudden, everything is showing up to our house in those white flimsy bags.
Okay.
Like,
yep.
I order bottled water. I can't even explain it. Like things that don't belong in a bag at all. Like they won't send a box. And I will say, I'm somebody who uses boxes over and over.
Yeah, me too. I'll recycle for sure.
Recycle, or I'll use them to mail things or whatever. I'm just really irritated. Like just the other day, my husband ordered a couple boxes of protein cookies. They're like protein bars, but and they came in like in a white bag, totally smushed. Like the boxes, like if something is in a hard box, why would you put that box in a bag?
Well, that happened with those Starbucks little cans that we both like. I order for the salon. I order them for home. Even though I have an espresso machine, I also like those sometimes, like on the go. I'm not, I just want to grab them. I keep them at the shop. They send that to me twice in that plastic bag, and it's heavy. It's cans, right? It's a 12-pack of cans. They must have just thrown it on my property because when I opened it, several of the cans were dented and some of them exploded. So it's like, come on, Amazon, you should know better. Well, or the driver, you feel this is a heavy item. Why would you just kind of like plop it and throw it down?
I know.
I don't know.
But the one I was talking about, I ordered, I like the Life Water bottles. And it was a package of 8 of those. And then it was like it wasn't those Starbucks cans, but it was something else canned that came in like a 4-pack. Okay. But it's heavy, it's liquid. Both of those
and aluminum
together in a white plastic bag.
Yeah, shout out to Amazon right now. We like you, but you guys are slacking.
And it's hard to figure out where to complain about that. And I don't really want to take time out of my day, but I might start returning my messed up cookies. Just saying.
I would. I had a call because there was I couldn't drink this. And this isn't the first time this has happened. This is the second time this has happened to me. You got to call. So they are aware, I'm sure, because if they're having to replace certain items and when it's perishable like that, you don't return it. They tell you just throw it out or donate it, but you can't even open the fucking cans. You can't even donate it because it's the way it's been smashed.
So I'm going to make a clip and I'm going to tag Amazon.
Yeah, I think you should. I think you should. Absolutely. I like it.
If you're taking a new turn, maybe turn back because you're just wasting products.
Turn back. Circle back. We're going to circle back, people.
Have you ever gone to an all-inclusive resort and they took an hour of your time to try to get you to have a timeshare?
Yes. That happened on my honeymoon. And I was so mad.
It happened on my honeymoon.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I think they know when you're honeymooners because you're so excited. You just got married. Like they know you're there on your honeymoon.
Which is exactly not when you're willing to even.
Well, if you're smart, you're not because you just spent all this money. But I think they're thinking, oh, new beginnings, that this couple will be excited. But what they don't realize, this is the last thing we want to do because we just spent all this money. I remember telling my ex-husband being there, and I'm like, oh my God, they're trying to scam us into getting something. I'm like, I'm not spending. And it wasn't even an hour. It was like 2 to 3 hours. We're going into 2 hours here. I was getting pissed. I'm like, I felt like literally I was being detained. Like I couldn't leave. I'm like, you know what? I'm leaving. Enough already. I'm sorry. I remember my ex-husband, he's a sweet man. He was just trying to be extra polite and like, let's just listen. I'm like, why? I know exactly where they're getting. I don't want to do this. Like, let's just go. So I walked away. Took him 15 minutes to follow me.
Girl.
He eventually showed up. He showed up, but that's the worst. Like,
well, and again, this makes me mad. Like, don't make me be rude.
right.
So here's what they did to us. This might have been the same as you, where you get there at the appropriate time and they're like, oh, your room is almost ready. While it's getting finished, go talk to so-and-so over here. And our room was magically ready when we were done. And you know what happened? You know why it was only an hour? Because I said, sure, I'll go to the meeting tomorrow. And then we got into the room and my husband's like, you really want to go to that meeting tomorrow? I'm like, hell no.
Happened. We went the next morning and I was like, I'm leaving. This is 2 hours in. Goodbye.
So then the next day passed. Fine. Day after that, so the club level, you know, when you have the, I don't know, butler service and a fancier suite, then you could go into that bar and refreshment area of the all-inclusive. And so behind the buffet area of the snacks, like by the bar, was where that guy's office was. So I go in there because, you know, sometimes right in the morning you need some Baileys with your coffee, right? So I go in there. This bitch comes over while I have like food in my mouth.
Wait, speaking of bitches coming over, look who just came over. This bitch.
Hey. Hey, baby girl.
Speaking of bitches coming over, Mia came to say hello, everyone. She was just napping.
I bet her breath is ripe.
Disgusting. And she just licked me. It's gross. Sorry. Okay, so you went over.
So I have like a piece of toast in my mouth. I've got my Baileys and coffee. It's like 10 a.m. and this bitch comes over and says, oh, I saw you didn't make it to the meeting.
Where did you guys honeymoon at?
Jamaica.
Nice. Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
We did Cabo.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it was nice. Yeah.
Anyway, I don't know how to handle that in the future because I feel like
well, you won't have to do it again because I'm telling you, they really only do it to like honeymooners. I swear.
Okay.
I mean, I've traveled so much throughout my years. I've been like to a lot of places. Unfortunately, I've been to a lot of the same places though. You know, I've probably been to Mexico 12, 15 times, Florida over 20 times. You know what I mean? Jamaica, Puerto Rico, Europe. You know, like 10 times. So I keep going to a lot of the same places that I like, but it's never happened again.
Okay.
So,
well,
who knows?
It's also like they talk about having the timeshare situation. And I'm like, I don't want to travel to the same places all the time. And then they're like, oh, well, you can go to our resorts. Well, guess what? Now I'm into a contract, just like the pest control and the maintenance contract. And then I have to stay at your resort. And then you get treated differently because you're not a new customer.
No, it's true. You're absolutely right. Okay.
I got 2 more.
Okay. Let's do this.
Actually, 3. Okay. USPS, United States Postal Service. This is a very good example of where unions are set up and then people do a really terrible job because they know they can't get fired. Right.
Because they're union. So it's not really just USPS. It's anyone that's in a union. Technically.
Well, I mean, it's true. It's true. Because, I mean, I see the reason for a union and it can be really fair as long as people have integrity. But a lot of people don't, unfortunately.
I'm telling you, we're living in a very sad, sad time. And this is why I don't leave my house.
Yeah.
I don't want to be around anybody.
Yeah.
And when I do leave my house, unfortunately, crazy shit happens. So I don't want to leave my house anymore.
No, I'm all for that. I just want you to be my neighbor. That's all.
I know.
So we can not leave home together, but then not share a bedroom.
I know. Me and my sister kept saying that we need to buy houses where it's like We even have like an undercover where we could just an undercover
Like a tunnel
to go to, because we don't even want to be outside. We don't even want people to see us. We're like, we just want to be able to go up to each other's house when we want to.
Well, you should move to my neighborhood. It's quiet. You can hear like birds fart.
But you know what? I hear do you know what I saw today? A beautiful little deer just sitting right out front eating the grass. I mean, for being in the city of Chicago, who would think that there's deers in my neighborhood? But
I saw a big ass deer on your street.
Oh, did you? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, you know why though? Right across from my main road here, there's a nature center. So I think what happens is they kind of get lost sometimes and out of the gates, and they're in this little park area. They go over the main street, which I feel sorry for them. They kind of get lost sometimes, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah.
Okay, taking it back to the post office.
Yes.
I just don't understand why it's okay for your mail to go to your neighbors all the time and for you to get mail that doesn't belong to you constantly.
Yeah.
Why?
It's like the people giving the weather. Right? They still have their jobs, but I mean, I never knew any industry or profession where you could be so fucking wrong and still have a job.
Yeah.
And the same thing with the mail. Getting the wrong mail, receiving the wrong mail, not getting your mail. It's insane.
Okay, and the white trash hooker cousin of the USPS. The DMV.
Yeah.
Why? Why is everyone that worked there seems so mean?
They're miserable.
They hate being there. Why work there?
Exactly. And they probably have like the best pension. They probably get good money. They have vacation, paid. You know, they're so mean to people.
And they have nicer nails than me.
I know. Why?
And it's like, I'm never mean to them. I'm never rude. But they come like right out the gate. Like, what do you want?
I know. It's like,
a driver's license?
Yeah, because it says it's expired. You told me to come here? Like, I don't understand. You said I had to be here to renew this? Like, what's the problem?
Yeah.
You know, I think my problem is I think I'm too nice, and people see that as a sign of weakness, even though it's really, I'm so not weak. But because I'm so nice, people just have attitudes all the time right away. And then I got to snap off. I put them in their place, and then they get scared, and then I'm considered a mean person.
I know. Okay. Last one.
Yes.
I know you're probably tired.
Yeah.
But I just got to get this one off my chest.
It's good. Yeah.
I'm going to have a new list by next week, I'm sure.
Me too.
Okay.
End of the day.
Yeah. Okay. This one it's the last one, but it has 2 parts.
Okay.
So I didn't really lie.
Okay.
When you call a place and the person's outgoing message says, I can't come to the phone because I'm doing blah, blah, blah. You're never always doing blah, blah, blah. Do you know what I'm saying?
I don't know if I've ever heard that.
I'll give you an example.
Yeah.
We are currently servicing other customers.
I'm
currently with a client. I can't pick up the phone, but you're like, oh, but it's 12:30. And I just want to leave you a message. Just talk less, so I can get to the message part.
Yeah.
Because I'm not expecting you to pick up at 12:30, but you're not.
Right, because you're probably at lunch. Right. We know you're at lunch. You're not.
Oh, no, I mean.
But what if it's
12:30 at night?
Oh.
But this outgoing message is like, oh, I'm not picking up because I'm with a client.
12:30 a.m.? Right.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
No matter what time you call.
Okay.
If you get the voicemail, it says, I'm with a client. Bitch, no, you're not.
Yeah, we know you're lying. You're lying. So now you can't trust this person because you already know they're a liar. I mean, they put it out there.
Mm-hmm. Lies,
girl.
Then,
lies.
When you call, okay, there's plenty of places that do this, but for example, any hospital situation, the doctors that are affiliated with them, everything, you call, and there is a 4-minute thing you have to get through. It says, please listen to the menu as it has changed. Sharon, I've been calling this number for 10 years. Nothing fucking changed. I swear.
I love it. You're right. You're right. Nothing has changed. You're right.
And why do they say that? Like, just say, please listen to the menu.
Right. Anyway, I don't know. Because
and then it's like,
silly.
Did you know that you could make an appointment on our website? Yes, Sharon, I know that too. Because I tried to make an appointment and it said, oh, you can't do this online. Call the number.
Right. Yeah, I agree with you. Wait, is Sharon the new Karen?
In my mind.
Oh, I like it. Okay. All right. That's
Anyway,
okay.
it makes me like so irritated. And then by the time I have to like hit 00000 17 times and I talk to somebody, then I'm already irritated and I'm trying to be polite because I'm fresh
But
irritated.
I do think that's the only thing that has changed is they kind of psyched us out where you can no longer press 0 to get to the operator and they make you re-listen to the message again. So if you think you're trying to like, oh, I'm going to bypass this and just hit 0, what ends up happening is starts the message over. So the only thing that has actually changed is that they don't want us to get to them faster.
Yeah. Well, not everybody. Some places it still works to do the 0, but other places it's like, you're right, because it keeps starting over. And then it's like, if you need to speak to somebody, press 7. You're like, how am I supposed to know it's 7, Sharon?
Exactly. They're doing this shit on purpose. I'm telling you.
Wasting my well, it's like
what, capital B.
It takes like 4 minutes to get through all of that audio just to be on hold.
I know. It's wild.
Anyway.
Yeah.
I might need a drink after this.
I know, right? I'm kind of glad I'm done with this coffee because I'm ready for the next thing.
Well, thanks so much for joining us.
Yeah.
Please leave us your aggravations in the comments below.
Yeah.
And we will see you next week with fresh complaints and maybe some talk about hair.
Yeah. Thank you.
Bye. If you enjoyed this episode and you'd like to help support the podcast, please subscribe or follow. And please leave a rating and review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. Lastly, follow us on social media for clips of past and future episodes. All our accounts are listed in the show notes below. Thanks so much for listening.